Hey YouTube, I want to show you my M90 truck, my D90 Defender in 1 to 12th scale, which I purchased from Banggood. Yeah, it's one of those cheap toyish trucks in WPL style after a lot of modifications. So that's what came out of it. Of course I painted it, and I also painted the whole body after painting it with this color in flat clear, and also the white roof, so it doesn't shine that much anymore. Looks much better that way, I think. And I lowered the body. What's not that difficult, I will show it to you later. And I used the WPM B1 rims. I painted them white, and the very soft WP1 tires. I cracked the windshield in the beginning. Not the fault of Banggood, not the fault of the packaging, my fault. That's how it looks now, and I'm quite happy with it. It comes with two different kind of roofs. That's the pickup style roof, what I do like a little bit more than the normal roof. And you also get this luggage rack you can press in on the roof, and with a ladder. And you get a snorkel. I don't like the snorkel. I even did fill it, but I did not mount it so far. I also weathered the body a little bit with Tamiya. What's the name? With Tamiya, with this weathering master, to make it a little bit dirty. Not a lot, but a little bit. The truck comes without windows, only with the front window, which I have already broken, so I made my own windows. It's a little bit more difficult to make those windows. I made them out of Lexan. It was not that difficult. Looks much better with the windows. What else did I do? I totally lit up my tiny 1 to 12 D90. Therefore I used this one of those fantastic LaneboysRC Lightcontrollers. I love those things. Check the website of LaneboysRC. You cannot really buy those. You can get the Gerber files and order the boards, like those ones, for cheap. Many companies do this and order the SMT parts and have to solder these boards and the controllers and to program them yourselves. It's not that difficult. I even did it with my normal hot air station. I have a cheap hot air station and quite a good soldering iron. I love those light controllers. I use it for controlling 16 different LEDs. You can do a lot. You can control each LED, and I use it for controlling a servo to make a working steering wheel with a working driver. Check out LaneboysRC's YouTube channel for this fantastic light controller. You can program it to your liking with a very simple computer browser-based software. Of course, it has turning lights. They only work if the car is not running, like in real. And of course it has hazard lights. I can switch those on with 4 fast clicks. And switch them off with 4 fast clicks again. And of course it has braking lights, opa, and rear light. And you can program different light modes. So I programmed for 1 click the main front lights on, 2 clicks the small front lights on too, both only with 50%, and 3 clicks both front light types with 100%. 2 clicks makes it go 1 step backwards, so now we have 50% in both lights. 2 clicks, we have the first step, only the main front lights, and now everything's off. And three fast clicks makes switch on everything fully. So this was 4 clicks. Switch the hazard lights off again. 3 clicks, everything full on. 3 clicks, everything full off. And I can control what's very nice, the steering wheel or steering wheel servo. With this light controller, this is really fantastic because you can program this servo independently from the main servo. So by getting in the program mode, you can do this with your transmitter. You can choose the endpoints of the steering wheel servo and the direction of the steering wheel. And you need only one channel, so you can do to do all this. So you can do this with a 3-channel receiver and 3-channel radio. So you can see the lit up dashboard with 3 LEDs, 3 small SMD LEDs in parallel, and the radio with the blue LED. And if you compare it to the videos I showed you, the running videos, you see those are of much lower intensity now. I did already lower the intensity of the LEDs with the LaneboysRC Lightcontrollers to 30% in the running videos, but this was still far too much, and now I lowered it, in my opinion at least, and now I lowered the intensity for the dashboard LEDs to 20% and for the blue LED for the radio to 10%, and that's much better now. As already mentioned, sometimes I love this LaneboysRC Lightcontroller. You can do so many things with it. It's fantastic. As already mentioned, I lowered the body. I will show you how I did this. And I use the WPLB1 rims for this truck. I painted them in white. And I use the wheels or the tires for the WP1, but not those ones from the Ready to Run or kit set, but those super soft ones you can order separately for those trucks. They are really smooth and soft. You have to glue them to the rims, and I made foam inlays, and I also made 2 layers of weight inside of each tire, so it works quite nicely now. I mounted the body to the chassis with a magnetic and clip body mount system that works really nice. So I will show to you, hopefully. So you have to lift the front and click to lift the back. So you have to lift the back, sorry. And you see here, these are the magnets, and the magnets in the body, and in the front, I will show you later, there is this clipping mechanism. First I will remove the wires of the light controller by only one plug. That's the body. Didn't do a lot inside. The 2 magnets. I cut the base plate of the driver's seat, so the chain, the driver figure, will sit a little bit lower because it was a little bit too high for him. It didn't look good. Here's the wiring for the light controller, and you see below, behind the dashboard, there's a lot of space, a lot of room for mounting the steering wheel servo, and the light controller is sitting behind this little plate here for secure reasons. The magnets go to their counterpart on the back side of the chassis, and they will put the body immediately and perfectly in place. And in front there are 2 button head screws, M3 screws. I used M3 screws, and this is the counterpart with this little notch, and if I press the body, it will click in perfectly and it will secure the body perfectly. So if I want to remove the body, first I have to lift the backside, and then it will click out here. So this works really well. What else did I do? Not a lot. A lot of wiring for all in all 18 lights. That's the body, and as I already told you, that's probably the nicer roof. And the chassis, you see what I did? I made 2 kind of sliders, rock sliders out of metal. I only simply used the Dremel tool for cutting this metal and bended it and screwed it to the frame, and that way I got a lot of room for mounting battery, speed controller and receiver. You see I use a 1000 mAh battery here, 2S, but there would be even bigger batteries would fit. For example, this 1300 mAh, but it has 60 connectors and use it for another car. But 1000 mAh is more than enough. I still do use the stock motor. The motor is a little bit weak, but there's not a lot of room anymore for a bigger motor. Here's the receiver. That's the 3-channel Flysky receiver. I didn't have place to use or room to use a lot of Y cables for getting the signal of the steering servo and of the throttle channel for the light controllers, so I soldered the signal wires directly to the ESC inside and only use a normal servo wire to get the channel 3 signal and the energy or the power. And that's the speed controller. Therefore I use a Hobby King X45A. That's this cheaper. Normally about 10 euros at Hobby King. They sold it for 5 euros when they had some days. I removed the box, and this makes a huge difference. In the beginning I used one of those normal cheap speed controllers all of us use, and you can buy on eBay for 3, 4, 5 euros. So, or on Banggood, you know, this stuff. It works well. This stuff I use it in a lot of my micro cars. It works well, but then for testing purposes I used this Hobby King ESC, and the difference is enormous. The difference in low speed control. So they are okay, but if you wanna get much better speed control, low end speed control, I highly recommend to use this better speed controller. So maybe this Hobby King, or maybe even Hobby Wing Quick One 1060 or the cheaper 1040 ones. They are fantastic, and it's a big difference to those very cheap light controllers. And furthermore, their BC is also stronger. So a simple 3-channel Flysky, cheap, 5-6 euros receiver controls my car. And for the servo I still do have the stock servo inside with the plastic gears. I did already order a spare one or a new one with metal gears, because I could not find any fitting servo for this car at home. I do have a ton of servos, but the big standard ones for cars, they are far too big. Maybe you could fit them in, but not if you do this lowering of the body as I did. And the smaller ones, I have a ton of micro servos from my Helis. They are too small, like those small Savox ones, or the famous very cheap MN-90s. You get them for nothing. They are nice steering servos for microcars normally. Whatever the Emax or Emax servo, I used them in a lot of 1 to 24 cars or small cars, but they won't fit here. What you see is this clamp here. It's absolutely necessary. I mounted the servo with strong servo tape, but this is not strong enough. During steering it will move, so I mounted this clamp here to fix the servo. And these are the 2 screws for mounting the body. Simple 2 3mm button head screws. For lowering the body I also had to lower the front bumper. I simply used long screws to get it to the right height. And of course, or not of course, I don't use the stock dampers anymore. I use oil-filled dampers. These are ECX Ruckus dampers, 1 to 18 dampers in back, I guess, with the original MN-90 red springs, because the Ruckus dampers were too hard. and in front I use, these are from a Hobby King truck, 118 truck, quite nice oil-filled dampers. It works fine. We all know this car will never be a real crawler, it's more a toyish car. So I had to make new links, what was quite an effort because of lowering the body. I think that the plastic links wouldn't have fit anymore because I used M3 rods for this with plastic and aluminium ball ends and aluminium tubes. And I bought metal drive shafts, highly recommended. You know, the plastic ones are very weak. Inside the axles I still use the plastic gears, they are a pain in the butt, as you know. I did already order metal ones, we'll see how those work. And of course I made metal steering links. Works quite well, but the car has quite a lot of steering bump. After clipping, the body sits perfectly. It's absolutely firm, and you see the feathering is quite nice. It looks quite scale. And what I did want to show you is inside I had to cut the side parts of the driver's seat, but you won't see it anymore because it's here inside. So that's the only modification I had to do, beside two little notches here for the frame. The driver driving better now with more lights. So, lights, driver driving. And let's mount the pickup roof because I like it more. That's really quite easy. You see, it's done. What a nice little truck. I really like it with the small tires compared to the big tires, which look, it looks much more scale that way, and with a lowered body. And there's a lot of room inside for some mods like my working steering wheel and for light controllers. Maybe you could even mount a winch or whatever. I really like this truck. For 40 or 30 to 50 euros. You can't go wrong. The main problem, the drivability, the plastic gears. I ordered metal gears. Let's see, we will see how this works. And maybe the steering is also not the best. We will see what the new Servo will do. It will drive 45 degrees, 100% and more. You will see it in the videos. And it's a nice small truck. It's significantly smaller than its big brother. I will show you some pictures. It's significantly smaller than the 1/10 or 1/9 scale. It's 1/9 scale D90, the popular one. If you want, stay some minutes more and watch the running videos. It's only inside my living room, and maybe you will do a similar modification. It's really a nice truck for tinkering, not a nice truck for running, but a really perfect truck, cheap for tinkering. Thank you for watching. Gracias, obrigado, Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, ciao.